to Reality of Wrestling 157. As always, you'll find a connection below so you can take a look at it. There's one thing I want to talk about, and you guys already know from the title and the picture, but I got to go through everything else first. The first thing I want to talk about is La Familia moment. Look, I still don't understand why Cristiano is not Reality of Wrestling Heavyweight Champ. Why do you continue keeping Gino as champ? They had a segment, and I felt that it was not necessary to see Cristiano saying, well, you were given the option to join the La Familia, but you didn't, and now because you won one stinking match, I am going away. No, it doesn't work that way. Why? Why couldn't he have won his match and become heavyweight champ, and then having to build Gino into something more than what he is? What Vega said was true. I can't remember the other guy's name, but I do remember Vega. He said you're nothing but a little child. He is. I'm sorry. I see nothing with Gino. I just don't see it. He's too soft-spoken. He doesn't show much emotion when he's in the camera. He barely looks at the camera, and then his ring work is average. Cristiano may have better ring work to a certain extent, but he's much better as a character because he's been developed, because he's more into himself. In other words, he has built up enough that he could be interesting, that he could pull off storylines, that he can pull off something. Gino has not pulled off anything. Please tell me below if he's part of some wrestling family, because if he is, that's the only reason he's become champ. Now, I'm not saying Cristiano isn't a champ. He isn't around because his family isn't into wrestling, but I feel that Cristiano is more better developed than Gino. Next, Tyree Taylor had a moment, and I still don't see anything interesting by himself. Like I've said before, sometimes wrestlers must be paired with another wrestler to really begin to develop themselves properly, because as a singles competitor, Tyree Taylor is just not interesting enough. I do believe that they should be a tag team. Let Jason and Tyree Taylor become a tag team. I believe it'll be better together than they are separate. And that kind of leads me into the Southern Pride. Why? We barely seen Ranson and Terry Ranson and the Pride together at all. And I know these guys go off to other promotions, and these are pre-tapes, and they don't always schedule them right. And when they do schedule them, it just feels very like there's a big gap. And I understand that. But let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. These two just don't seem to be a good team. They don't. They make me think of the Cool. And I don't really care. And that leads me into Bartek. No, Bartek. Sorry, Bartek. I'm glad he had a segment. I'm glad basically he said what I did to him. What did Cole do to me? What about him doing something to me? Karen Cole did something to me. I told him, listen to me, we'll make it work. No. He's always for himself. And I felt that, even though it wasn't that detailed, I do feel like it was a good segment. I'm more interested in Cameron Cole. I'm more interested in Bartek. I care about seeing them have a feud now, because they're giving more shine to Bartek, who's basically been the quiet one, and Cameron Cole, who's been the loud one, who's been going after getting all this stuff, and basically Bartek has been left at the wayside and pretty much been considered a nobody. That's just how I see it. Let's see. Scott Smith versus Barnes. Now here, I'm glad to see this. If Barnes has become a heel, he needed to become one. He needed to destroy someone from the United States. He needed to destroy a all-American boy. He kicked his ass. A fisherman, what is it? Forgot the name of it. It was a fisherman brain buster, which was pretty good for him. And you guys tell me below, is he all leg? That man has nothing but legs. If he was a woman having those type of long legs, men would go crazy. As it stands, this guy should not be wrestling. You know what he should be doing? MMA. This guy is built for fighting with his legs. He should be a fighter, not a wrestler. That's the truth. He should be an actual wrestler in MMA. Because that's all he is just legs. But I will say that his segment beforehand was actually pretty damn good. He pretty much said, I'm supposed to be going after Stevie Ray and Stevie Ray Incorporated because they've been treating someone like me, an immigrant, like bad. And then, when it came down to it, an all-American boy comes out and the crowd cheers for him when it's obvious that I've been treated like garbage. How come I'm being treated like garbage and this guy who's an American is being cheered? Why couldn't someone cheer for me? Get the hell out of here. That felt good. He didn't say it like that, but you know what I'm getting at. He's turning heel. He's angry at Americans because of one group of Americans treated him bad, so he's going to be angry at all Americans. And then that's going to translate to him being transitioned over to the Stevie Ray Incorporated because he will truly be the American dream. A guy who hates everybody and loves himself. That's what Stevie Ray stands for. I pledge allegiance to Stevie Ray, who cares only about himself and money. And that is what Barnes is going to become. A guy who cares about himself and then cares about money. We had a match for the Diamonds, finally. Hai Young versus Miranda. Now, I looked at both of these women. And between the two, who it seemed to be more viable. Now, I don't hate Miranda. I actually like her. But Hai Young seems to be more viable. And now she won against Miranda by cheating. You see it in my face. I got no problem with that. I have no problem seeing a win over Miranda through a cheat. That gives you a reason to care about these two. But here's the problem. If I'm correct, and I haven't checked out Reality Wrestling website, Miranda's not on the roster, and neither is Hai Young on the roster. It's only, if I'm still remembering, because I haven't checked it in a while, it's Kylie Ray and Jada. And where has Jada been? She's in my intro. She should be seen. I just wish they would care more about women. I know they have constraints. Like I said earlier, they got constraints in their taping. They only got 1 hour. But come on. Come on, Reality Wrestling. Do better than this. Tempo had a moment. Didn't really care. Because I care more about J. Blake winning. Because him winning the Reality Wrestling television title is more important. Because he's more of a charismatic character. He's good in the ring. I care more about JJ Blake. I don't care that much about Tempo. Tempo just doesn't have it. Just don't see it with him. Doesn't mean he isn't great in the ring. He just, as a character, as a talker, as someone to try and convince you to come to the arena and actually pay for the seats, just isn't there. And finally, this was a damn good match. You got Rex Andrews versus Joseph Gaara. I can't pronounce his name. Gaara, whatever. This was the best match I've seen in a long time. It was unique. There were moments where both of them, there was one moment where both of them were on their heads, starting to smack one another in the face with one of their hands. I haven't seen that. It was unique. This was a good chain wrestling, ground wrestling match. It's something we don't normally see in pro wrestling. Because we see the flips, we see the kicks, we see the high flying, we see the jumps, we see the jumps out of the ring, we see the jumps out of everywhere. But in this case, there was very little aerial, very little high flying, very little of that. It was mostly ground impact wrestling. Taking a little bit from TNA. Well, Impact Wrestling, sorry. But this was the best match I've seen in quite a while. And I didn't expect Rex Andrews to job here. They barely done anything with Joseph A'Gua. Olga. I can't pronounce the guy's name. I always pronounce people's names who I haven't seen much of. I'm sorry. You guys can try and get it right in the comments, but I'm telling you this. If this was on WWE, it would have won the crowd over. This was not meant to be a high impact, high flying match. It was a ground match. And it was a damn good ground match. Did it have a great story built up into it? No. I'm not going to lie. There was no build for this. It's not like they build it up for weeks at a time. They haven't done that. And reality of wrestling is not much different than WWE. They kind of do this every week. And that's always been an issue. But I won't deny that this is a very good ground match. And if I had to say what was one of the best matches of 2017 so far, that's it. On a minor promotion, at the end of a show that's considered pretty much nothing, you got two incredible wrestlers who did a damn good job. But this is just my point of view. And I hope you enjoyed this Zane's View and Reality Wrestling 157. Please give me a comment below. I will be getting my next pro wrestling guide for newbies out either tonight or tomorrow. And you will see some SmackDown Live, because I am going to be doing that tonight. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.